Just waiting on everyone to join. Some of my friends. I'll just send this out. It might cut out a bit. Hey, Big Tami! Big Tami for his origin story, and he's here live with Big Borry. Borry Barry. Welcome, mate. I hope you're excited. Hey, Roy. Yes. You're the one I've been missing out on, bro. I'm like, I can't wait till Roy's back and far out. That's so cool, bro. Wow, if you guys were the only ones who watched this live, I wouldn't care. I'd be happy. Be so happy, man. But yeah, so we're here for Big Tami's backstory. Roy, I think you're going to be next. So there's going to be 2 parts to each backstory. I think it's a big thing for me. Like, it takes a lot of energy, but I'm keen to do it. There's a lot of brain power I feel like that needs to go into it. Oi. But yeah, I'm keen. Bro, I studied voice and oh, so, Roy, I don't know if you've heard of David Attenborough. He is definitely the most famous documentary producer, what do you want to call him, guy. He talks like this. Meanwhile, the little cuckoo, it hides in its barrel. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I told Tami didn't know about David Attenborough. I know. But maybe a lot of people don't. I don't know. Anyway, so you guys want to get started? Let me know, or you want to wait a little bit. Let me know as well. Otherwise, if you want to get started, I've got 3 people. Looks like possibly. So guys, just to let anyone here know, I'm going to be doing the backstory or the origin stories of Tami, which is here. Well, it shot up a bit. We need Russian. Yeah, we do. I'm just worried about the time frames, and maybe he's sleeping because he was up doing a live with me on the other social media. Yeah, we had a really blast. We had a really blast. Tami was there, but we had a really good time with the live over elsewhere. It was really nice. He did a lot of stuff on National Geographic. Yeah, he did. Yes, Roy. Yeah. So I'll explain. So we're doing the origin story of Tami, which is a character from Drones of Everest, which is a part 1 and part 2 of Drones of Everest. And now we're going through the character story. So there's going to be 2 parts in each character story, and it's all going to come together like cogs in a machine. Probably have hat hair for taking off my beanie. It's getting a bit warm, but yeah. Anyway, so are you guys keen to get started? What do we want to wait a little bit? Wait for possibly Vash and stuff. I just don't know. I sent out the message, but let me know. Let me know in the comments, Roy or Big Tami or whoever, if you want me to just get started, and I'll get ready for my freestyle. We had a little bit of a discussion about how I'm going to go about it. I hope I can get the script. Yeah, that's all right. There's no time frame. It's just, yeah, we let things take their course. I'm ready whenever. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, I've got to get in the mindset. So, Big Tami's storyline, it goes off... it's around the time, if you guys end up looking at it, but Vash's origin story. So there's a time of a great civil war happening we're just sticking to America. It's only for story's sake we're sticking to America, even though in the story and in the theme it's global. So we're just keeping it that way, just for the sake of story, because it gets too much dynamic and stuff that we don't want to get sidetracked with. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yes. I am part of the Jedi Council. What does he say? I'm trying to think of some of his cute. You were supposed to destroy the Sith, not become one. And then Anakin's like, I hate you. Hello. Hey everyone, welcome everyone. This is I'm not going to get too sidetracked with other stuff because I'm doing this live for the origin stories of a character that a few of my friends are building on with some of the lives. If you go check them out, if you feel free to check them out on my live category on my channel. It's going off its origin stories from Drones of Everest. And I'm still trying to get my gears going. So, actually, he was supposed to balance force, which is... Oh. Okay. Yeah, there we go. It's Roy knows his stuff. So I'm going to delve into this story. Hello, you should go to the story. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Probably the old version of him. Anakin! With that Scottish accent he has. Yeah. Welcome, Colt. The Escudero. I can't say that. Escovador? Oh, yeah. Anyway. So starting off, so it's in a time, this is the story, guys. This is the origin story, so I'm going to go straight into it. It's a time, there's a massive civil war. Oh, yeah, cool. Cool, yeah. Yeah, cool. Okay, Ron, we're going to stay quiet. Yeah, I need the help, man. Otherwise, my brain. So it's pretty big. Takes a lot of energy for me and brain capacity. To do. I actually had a headache today, so I think I'm recovering, but just woke up with a headache. I think it's my neck how I'm sleeping. Yeah. Anyway, or maybe I didn't sleep enough. Anyway, so it's at a time America's going through this massive civil war. So what's happened is people have been in different ways oppressed and controlled and manipulated by AI and technology in general, and a few power-hungry people on the top, which are global in their network, which is, I don't think, too far from the truth, to be honest. But the people had enough. And so there's this massive uproar. There's starvations that are happening. There's massive starvations and stuff happening. And so the people rise up and they're like, so at this time, and I need to mention this, even though it's mentioned in Vash's backstory, at the time, there was something being run like a institution amongst the people led by a man called Bon Smith. And so Bon Smith was the real founder of this philosophy and I guess you could call it a rebellion called the Conclave. And so the Conclave was in amongst the people, and he came up amongst this civil war, this rebellion against their oppressors, and he was speaking about stuff that really resonated with them, with the people, which is definitely stuff that's happened through history. And so Bon Smith stands up and he addresses a crowd. Okay, but this is part of it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, bro, you got to watch the Vash's backstory. So he gets up on the crowd and he goes, I'm trying to remember his accent, to be honest. People! And he had like a husky voice. And people, brothers and sisters, I am one of you. I am here with you. I am one of you. I am another voice. We are all here together under one name. Right? He says something like that. And he says, how long will we let heartless machines oppress us, control us, destroy us, How long must we suffer? There is no great victory without great sacrifice. And we have sacrificed too much to fear. We have sacrificed too much in silence and division. I only wish to unite my brothers and sisters in one voice, in a fist that rises up against our oppressors, that we are free for our own choices, that children will grow up and know what nature is, what the organic world is. Because what has happened, guys, for a while now, all the national parks, there's fake trees, like literally fake trees. There's hologram trees. There's actual fake trees that are robotic and all that are actually like a type of I can't remember the word here, like a cybernetic organism trees. So they'll literally have cybernetic organism trees. They look pretty much the same as a tree, unless you look really close or you want to carve something. And so they've got these cybernetic trees in the streets. Food became scarce and starvation happened. So in came the machines with their protein factories. And so, and the machines deliberately to dehumanize started feeding the masses. They started feeding them this produced protein food, and it tastes okay. They know how to tantalize the senses. They know how to work the human biological system to give us what we want, but not really what we need. And so they kept us prisoners, and so people have finally said this is enough. This is enough, and they haven't actually implemented this to the full stage yet. So I need to explain all this, even though there's a lot of this in Vash's backstory, but this is new stuff too. This is showing you more Bond Smith and his rise. So what's happened? So a lot of this is introduced, but there's still organic, and there is still some farms and all that, but it's few and far between, and only certain elites or rich people with money have access to these things. And even these things aren't so easy. So forests, they exist, but they're not for people. For the sake of protection, for the sake of environment, for the sake of control, for the sake of so there's what they tell the people, and then there's what they don't tell the people. So they tell the people it's for the environment. It's to let the nature regenerate, because this is why there's a problem, because there's not enough food. People have destroyed everything, and so but the real reason is stuff like control and keeping people in their areas. So everyone's in the area. So you'll not at this stage, but later on you'll see there's more to it, because more happens, it gets worse. So I'm trying to go through this pretty quick just so you understand a bit of the backstory. So Bond Smith rises up, and the people are like, yes, yes, and at this point people can talk about him. At this point people are choosing this, and there's still people watching TV, and there's still people that like, no, we have damaged this earth. We have created the damage. AI is a tool that's here to help us. AI is trying to unite us. It's trying to fix the issues with famines and all sorts of global, international and global issues that are now upon us. And so there is still a lot of division even with people, and it's like you know, it's the mentality with the people with the AI where it's like, well, you know, it's not going to be easy, and there's some people fall to the side. Not everyone's going to find the help they need, and for the sake of the greater cause, guys, we need to stick with this because, yeah, they are there. They're built by us, for us, and just want to say this is not true. That they actually have become against us, but this is not commonly too known to a lot of people, globally too, and even people that initially were part of the building process have had doors shut on them. So there's been whistleblowers and stuff, and then we might add more to that. So, but we don't want to go too away from the topic because there's a lot of avenues we can go with this. So we're in a time of a civil war that's already started, but it's really about to start. And keep in mind, guys, these are not robots. These are machines that, you know, hello, sir, how are you? They claim to have emotion. They seemingly have emotion. They're programmed to have emotion. They have learnt the intricacies of, well, they seemingly have learned the intricacies of emotion and communication and for more than just, you know, a blank face. They're very expressive. In fact, it's starting to become that real people are now more machine-like with their faces, their cold faces. The hope has left them. People walking around, their shells. They're just like, they got nothing to lose. Everything's been taken from them. So the people are now these. The people seem more machine-like. So you can imagine, you can understand why people amongst people are going, "Hey man, these AI, these humanoids, these even these drones, they're seeing more, or in some way they're seeing more emotion. Visually, they're seeing more emotion. They see smiles. You know, you'll have these humanoids patrolling the streets, walking amongst them, even living amongst them. Yes, living amongst them for the purpose of obviously being amongst them, and as we'll find later on, for control, for domination, for their own solemn agenda. There's words I want to use, but they won't come to me. But for their own autonomy. At this point, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think, no, they're still being controlled by elites. But are they? Are they? Could there be a possibility that they are controlled by no one but themselves? Which some of you might know from the drones of Everest, Queen Bella. Who do you think Queen Bella was? Anyway, or is at this time who she is. Okay, so they're amongst the people and seemingly more emotional, seemingly more concerned, seemingly more they seem to have a knack to lock onto our every little wants and needs, and they seem to have such great concern and depth for us. You know, they can talk about what you're reading in the paper, and they can even bring in their own theories on what you're reading in the paper, even though there's no newspaper anymore. But you know, you might be reading an article on something, and they'll go, "Oh, this article interests me a lot. What about blah 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 blah?" Anyway, so keep in mind, it's not these seemingly, "I am a robot. How are you, sir? Public violation." No. It's if you can imagine, it's a group of well-dressed humanoids that would approach you in a violation. It's like, "Sir, we're sorry to inform you but we need you to come with us, please. They use the manners. In fact, these humanoids, they know nice. They know manners. They know it better than the people now. Because the people have now rejected manners, politeness, becoming like animals, like soulless robots themselves. Because they have been bombarded with fakeness. And now their bodies are going, ugh, I can't stand this anymore. Their minds are going, I cannot either become one with you or I reject you. Now the clashing of these worlds is now colliding. These mindsets is colliding. After this, are you going to? Yes, I am Big Tami. So there's this clashing of reality and human raw need and these AI that are now going, fighting for something, pushing against these people until they're crushed, and doing it in a nice way, or seemingly a nice way. Notice I didn't say kind, I said nice. And so Bond Smith he's risen up, and he's right there, and he's like uniting the people, and bang, this civil war happens. The humans lose. Humanity loses. And now the age of the AI, now the age of these humanoid masters is now right. It's their age, it's their time. And now they have full control. And so I'm not going to go too much back into that story. I'll come back to, now we come to Tami. Tami was a young boy, about the age of, in this starting origin, he's about 10 years old. And we find ourselves in a forest. This is a forest that's not meant to have humans in it. And Tami's father was a hunter. And Tami's father's there. And they're on a ridge. Tami with his rifle. And Tami just wanted to impress his dad. Tami just wanted to be just like his dad. All the stories he'd hear about his father, the great feats of his father, how his father was a soldier, and his father would tell Tami how they came from the Philippines many years ago. Oh, I'm just doing an origin story of a character called Tami. There's a lot there to explain, but if you really want to catch up on it, probably watch the Drones of Everest. There's a part 1 and part 2 of Drones of Everest on my live section, and then you can start. You can watch them any times, but you can start as they come out too. But they're origin stories. One of the origin stories that's already out is Vasha's origin story, and there's 2 parts to each origin story. So there's a lot there. It's a bit of a sci-fi dystopian future kind of storyline, script, whatever you want to call it. But I hope that helps, Duck Edits. But I'm just starting to get into origins of Tami. So back into the story, guys. So he's there with a rifle. Tami's there with a rifle. This young kid, and there's a bear. There's a bear, and a big grizzly, and they're in the mountains. And it's did I mention there's a lot of snow, and Tami's cold, but he's eager to impress his father, and he's looking down the scope, and there's the bear, you know, a good distance away. I don't know how many yards or meters, but, you know, a good distance away, not too close. And he's lined up, and the bear comes out, right? And, which is unusual, this bear's roaming around in the snow. Perhaps its habitat's been disturbed. The bear's grumpy and all that. And, yeah, big grizzly. They actually wanted deer, okay? They wanted deer. And anyway, Big Tami's dad's calm, and he's like, breathe. And he's telling him about each moment, and just to be in the moment. And he's getting Tami all focused, and Tami's He's afraid. He doesn't want to let his father down. And he sees the bear, and the bear catches wind of him. And the grizzly starts wandering over, limping over, not limping, but, waddling over this grizzly's. And Tami's dad's like, calm, but starting to go, yeah, Tami's dad's calm, but he's starting to be like, uh-oh. And he's like, take the shot, Tami, take the shot. Tami's like, and he just can't take the shot. Tami can't take the shot. And the dad's trying to keep his calm. He's not afraid of danger, but he's afraid about his son. That's what's actually scaring Tami's dad. Take the shot, Tami! And the bear starts getting momentum and starts really getting some pace, and it's closing in. Take the shot, Tami! And Tami, he's locked up. Tami is completely locked up. It's like he can't move. It's like somehow the ice has frozen him, but he's just frozen in fear. Not ice, but fear. In fact, he's probably melting the ice because he's just generated heat, because he's just terrified and he's overwhelmed. And the father, realizing it's too late and Tami's not going to take the shot, he grabs the rifle, and the bear comes and it goes straight for Tami's father, and it swipes him with its big bear claws. Boof! Sends Tami's father flying like 5 meters. And Tami's father, the rifle falls, and the bear stands up. Right? And this bear's hungry, man. He should be hibernating, but this bear's hungry. He's like, man, you guys have disturbed me. Yeah. Oh, shit. And he's like, stands up, and he's like, and Tami's right there. By this stage, Tami's just looking up, and he just sees his bear. It's like the bear doesn't even notice him. Maybe the bear didn't see him as a threat because, this little kid, he's not a threat. And the bear's just looking at the father. The father's over there 5 meters away from the big swipe, and the bear's like, and comes back down. And the bear starts wobbling over, as bears do. It starts wobbling over to the father. It's got his mouth open, and, you can see the steam coming from this big bear mouth. Right? Yeah. And the bear's about to hit the father, and the father's like, he's open. He's got this massive wound across here, right? And it doesn't look good. And there's blood everywhere, right? And the father grabs the rifle. It's just almost like a shotgun. He doesn't even hold it up. He just boof. And the bear just makes like, and falls in front of the father. And the bear kind of makes a sound, and the father, he's back. Another one in the chamber. Boom. And then the father lies down with the bear on his feet. And Tami comes up. He's like, Papa, what do I do? Papa, what do I do? And his dad's like, he's like, go back to because there's a bit of a hike. And he said, go back to your mama. And he's like, she'll know what to do. I'm okay, son. And he goes, take the rifle. And he can hardly move, and he's like, take the rifle. And he's like, wait. See, Tami didn't know it, guys. But Tami's father knew that by the time help came back, he would be no more. Because if the wound didn't get him, the cold will. And Tami goes, what is it, Father? What is it, Father? It's Tami. Tami's father never told him he was proud of him. It's not that he wasn't proud of him. Tami's father wanted Tami to be strong, and he never knew, out of all the things he knew how to do, he didn't know how to tell him, his own son, I love you and I'm proud of you. And so Tami's looking at his father. What is it, Papa? And his father looks up. Tami, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. And I love you. And Tami looks at his father. He didn't know what to say. He didn't know how to process it. And Tami looks at his father and he goes, thank you, Papa. And then the father, sitting up, holding his shoulder, he goes, now go. Go to your mother. Tell her where I am. We'll get you help, Papa. You're going to be okay. I'll be quick. Tami runs off through the forest. And later on, he would feel guilty. Do you know why Tami would feel guilty later? Tami had forgotten that his father's mortally wounded. Tami couldn't understand that his father's not invincible. Tami had forgotten about his father's wounds. Tami was now energized that his father said he was proud of him and he loved him. Tami was motivated. He was running for the forest. Tami had a smile on his face. He was happy. Tami was running home to get help for his father and he was happy. Later on, he'd come to process this and feel great guilt because he was feeling happy while his father was dying. But Tami didn't know that. All Tami knew is his father said, I love you and I'm proud of you. So he's almost crying. He felt alive. He for once felt alive. In the cold, he felt alive. His father dying, he felt alive. He's running with a rifle and he's almost skipping through the forest. And he's like, and he actually yells out into the wilderness. He yells out, Papa loves me! It was like this kid had found love that he was looking for, because he did. In those words, those powerful words, even Tami's father could not comprehend the power of those words. And if he could have, he would have said it a long time ago. But he couldn't understand it, just like Tami couldn't fully understand what was happening with the bear charge and all of it. So Tami skips back home and his mum's there, and his mum reflects the smiling Tami and she looks at him with a smile. Papa loves me on Viking voice. Yeah. And his mum looks at him with a smile and she's like, she suddenly thinks it's a joyous occasion. And she sees her son and she goes, where's Papa? And Tami looks up and he goes, Papa got hurt by a bear, Mum. We need to help him. Why are you smiling? Where is he? Right? Tami looks at Mama and she goes, he's over here on the ridge. We were hunting and a bear came. And okay. What else did your father say? He just said, get Mama, she'll know what to do. So Mama grabs all the bandages, first aid, and she goes, quick, take me to him. And so Mama goes up there. And they go through this forest, and now suddenly the walk wasn't so quick. And Tami began to sink. And he was trying to process how his mum said, why are you smiling? And inside Tami, he was thinking, inside himself, he was thinking, Mama, don't you know why I'm smiling? Papa loves me. Papa's proud of me. And he's trying to understand. He's trying to understand this. And the whole time, Tami's mother was just focused on getting to Tami's father. She didn't even look at Tami. She was looking at the road ahead. And as she arrived, Tami's father, the bear still at his feet, his eyes shut. The wound's over here. His eyes shut, frozen. Frozen in time, frozen in almost just like how Tami left him, but without any life. And so Tami looked upon his father, and his mother falls on her knees, processing what has befell her, processing on what she's looking at. She's crying. She's crying. And Tami just... great guilt came upon Tami. He's trying to process, but Papa... And he touches his father, and his father's ice. His father is now ice, who once had warm, loving hands, strong hands, who was invincible. His invincible father was now ice. Papa. Tami looks up and he sees his mum crying and trying to be strong, trying to now process survival, trying to now process what it means to now not have Tami's father. And Tami said, Mama, this isn't Papa. This isn't Papa. And Mummy looks up at Tami with tears in her eyes. And so then we find a week later we have Tami sitting at the table in their cabin. And the mum's still sad, and she's just made a bit of food for Tami. Can you guess what the food was? It was bear soup. All right. So she goes, Tami, eat. Tami looks up at his mother and he goes, Mama, I can't. Mama, I can't. I can't. She goes, eat. You need to eat. Because Tami knew that this is the very bear that had destroyed his father. I don't want to say the other word. So then Tami eats the soup. He eats the soup. That wasn't him spitting out, but he eats the soup. Slowly eats the soup. And his hungry belly needed it. He was ashamed that he was somehow a part of him was enjoying it and needed it. But in his shame, he's eating, even though he needed to. He's trying to still process all this. His mother says to him, Tami. Tami looks up. She goes, I'm sorry, Tami, but you need to be a man now. And Tami goes, okay, Mama. And Tami's mother goes, Tami, we can't survive out here without your papa. And Tami goes, okay, Mama. She goes, Tami, we need to go to the city, to the districts. You know, according to the government, we aren't supposed to be out here, Tami. And Tami goes, but this is our home, Mummy. And his mummy goes, we won't survive, Tami. We were going to go into the city, into the districts. So by this stage, this is actually when the Civil War has already happened. And the AI control is at full swing. So again, Tami was trying to understand. He went to get his little carved wooden toy. At one of the little carvings was a man with a rifle, and that was his dad. And one of his little carvings, and his dad taught him how to carve. I don't know, man. Imagination. And the other little carving was little Tami. And he grabbed these little carvings. And then Mama walks in the room and she looks at Tami. She goes, "Leave them, Tami. Leave their carvings, leave them. You're a man now. You can't have these toys." You need to leave your toys. You're a man now. Tami looks at the carvings. He wraps them in the little cloth they're in. And he puts them on his little windowsill. She goes, "Come on, Tami. Grab your stuff. We've got a long journey." Tami grabs his stuff. He's got his backpack. He's carrying a lot more than a 10-year-old kid should be. And he grabs his backpack. This is probably a few months after Tami's father's passing, when the mum started to realise after the bear, there was no more food. She could hunt surely like her husband. Tami, he couldn't hunt like his father. Even though if she asked him to, Tami would have went out there and he would have carried that approval that his last dying father's words were, which is, "I'm proud of you and I love you." And he's got his little backpack. And his mum's got her stuff. She's even more loaded up with stuff than Tami. Now, Roy, this is where you're going to help me. What's maybe a city in America that's closer to mountains with cold, alpine mountains with cold places? What's a city that might be close to, like a big city that might be closer to somewhere like that? Could you tell me? I need your help here, Roy. So I'm just waiting on a little bit of help. Yep. So they set off, and she goes, "Now, Tami, this is going to be a long journey. You're my little man." And Tami looks up and he goes, "Yes, Mama." And remember, Tami has now a secret weapon. His father's love. Mount Everest. Big Tami. He's not ready for that yet. And so Tami has now cancer. Tami. And his leg came off now. He's a one-legged boy. "Please, more food for me, sir." Salt Lake City, Utah, or Denver, Colorado. Okay, we'll go. Hey. Hey. Oh, you probably should have left it, Big Tami. He was getting on me. Yeah, but Tami, you can't just get rid of people because they're, you know what I mean? Yeah, you got to be a bit careful with that, bro. Oh, okay, but yeah. But people will do that. They'll be a bit funny with things. It's okay. Okay. All right. So we're going to say Denver, Colorado. Okay, guys? Now, just one more question for my research, Roy. Roughly how far is New York from Denver, Colorado? Just find out, just roughly. Because eventually Tami is going to end up in New York. Anyway, yeah. So Yeah, yeah. It's all right, Luca. It's all good. All the way across the United States. Oh, is it? Okay, don't worry. Yep. So we'll keep going with the story. So now little Tami's trekking with his mum, and it's there's a lot of snow going on, and it's an arduous journey till finally they come to Denver, and his mum turns around to him. They see the city from a hill. They see it. It looks very different to what the mother remembers. In fact, Tami didn't grow up in the city at all. Tami was a proper kid from the bush. He was from the forest. Almost all the way across, yeah. And so his mum turns around to him and goes, now, Tami. Tami looks up. She goes, I need you to stay. I need you to trust me. And I need you to stay very close to me. Who knows what we're going to encounter down there? Just stay close to me. Don't let go of my hand. And Tami looks up and goes, okay, Mama. She goes, we're going to have a quick rest. We're going to have a quick rest, and then we're going to head down this hill, and we're going to enter the city. Rocky Mountains are left side of our map. York is on the far right. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll work it out, right? And so they're having a quick rest to try to get a bit of strength. They had a bit of bear jerky. Is that a thing? I don't know, but apparently they're eating bear jerky, and Tommy's got his jerky. And Tommy's used to jerky, to eating off the land, and he's eating his jerky. Again, still feeling a lot of guilt. Same bear that ate his father, and or didn't eat him, but unalived his father. Why do I get the feeling Mum is about to go permanent map time? permanent, yeah. I can't say permanent. I can struggle with that word, permanent. Nap time, yeah. right. Oh, we'll have to stay tuned, ready? So they're sitting there, and Tommy's eating his bear jerky. And guess the coat. Guess the big coat that Tommy's wearing, guys. Guess what his coat is. Can you guess? What is Tommy's coat made of? And he's got a little hat. What do you think it's made of? Come on, guys. See if you can guess. Ha! Bear skin. So he's got a little bit. It's actually a bear head. Like half of the bear head for his hat. So he looks like a little bear. And he's got bear skin. Yep. And he's sitting there. And then, guys, as they're eating, they're having their little break around a little fire. They've got a little fire going. Guess what they hear, guys? They hear the buzzing. And Tommy's like, what is that, Mum? And the mum's like, I don't know, Tommy. I don't know. She's like, get next to me. And they can hear buzzing. And 2 drones come out. Either side. Right? Yes, drones. And they're both like looking up, and and she's like, Tommy. And he's like a little bear, and his mum's holding him, and she's like, stay close, Tommy, stay close. I don't know what they want. I don't know what they are. And Tommy's just like, what are they? Tommy's never seen anything like it, guys. Never. And then, and then one of the drones speaks. And the drone goes, user identified and unregistered. Follow us now or be terminated. Follow us now or be terminated. And the mum's like, the tree is talking, Mary. No. But the mum's like she nods. And Tommy's just clinging to his mum. And so they come down the hill. The drones are coming down the hill. And they're following these drones. And the drone's got a green light flashing, guys. The drone they're following, there's one behind them. and it's flying low next to him. And there's one in front of him, kind of high up, and it's got a green light. Anyway, they come down to the city and they can see the highways. Tommy, your mum's about to become Swiss cheese, man. Tommy! It's Tami. It's Tami. Tami. Sorry, it sounds like Tommy, doesn't it? But it's Tami. So Tami's like clinging to his mum. He's like, Mum, what are they? Mum. Right? What kind of animal are they? And she goes, they're not animals. And then the drone from behind, when the mum goes, they are not animals, they're robots. I'm not kidding you guys. The drone behind them, it kind of yells out and it goes, what you say will be used against you. Oh, yeah. Sorry. What you say will be used against you, really loud. And they both kind of look back like, what? In like a humanoid voice, in like a human voice. What you say will be used against you. And they're like, oh, man. And so they're walking, and the drone in front of them, it's a scary feeling. It's like, what is going on? And then they can see the highways not being used, all that. And it's quite phenomenal. And there's this massive wall. There's like a wall around the city. Big wall. So they get to the side of the wall, and these men come up. These strange men. These men come up and they go, and they're looking at him, and they go, please state where you're from. Woman and child. With a big smile. And the mum looks up. She goes, we came from the forest, and she tells them where they came from. We came from here on X. Madam, you and your child are in violation of the Public Sector Act, of the Drone AI Act, of the Environmental Act. You have violated the act. And the mother goes, we didn't violate no act. This was our home. Madam, I detect hostility. We are government officials. We do not tolerate hostility. Is there anyone else that is a part of your dwelling or your party? Please, madam, speak clearly. Washington, I did tell you. I think people aren't getting informed by my YouTube guys. Vash, oh, I'm so glad you're here. Bro, I did send a message in the other place. I sent a message in where everyone, the Borry's nephews and nieces. Oh, bro. Oh, sorry, bro. Yeah, you're getting some really good parts. But don't worry, I can always rewatch this to get it. Oh, I mean, you did miss a lot. What do you reckon, guys? You reckon Vash missed a lot? I feel like he did. Anyway, I've got to get back into the story, Vash. But you can obviously rewatch it, you know what I mean? And just see when you got some time, when it comes back up. And then I'll later on I'll ask you guys if you end up watching any of Vash's story, okay? All right. So we're at the point, Vash, where Tami and his mum have gone to Denver, Colorado. Yeah. They've gone to Denver, Colorado because Tami's dad's passed away, which is, I thought, a pretty cool story. And now they're being escorted by drones, and they've encountered their first humanoid AI, and it's questioning Tami's mum and Tami right now at the gates of Denver, because there's big gates around the city, big walls. And so I'm going to go back into that now. Ready? I await your answer. It's just me and Tami, my son. We seek shelter in Denver. We're not here to violate anyone's act or law or regulation. I'm just a mother and my son trying to survive. So please, sir, whoever you are, please give us shelter, because we will not survive this winter. I detect great emotion. I see you are uninformed. He looks to the other AI humanoid. And he looks at him. They don't even say anything. And he goes, enter. Enjoy your stay. And do not violate any more laws. Mother and child. Now go for processing. Have a nice day. Thank you. So these cold machines, they act, on one hand, they are polite and nice, but they are cold. They harbor hate. The people don't know this yet. No one really knows this yet. But there's more to this story. There's more to these machines. And so Tami and his mother, Tami clinging to his mother, he's trying to process what he's seeing. He's got his little bare skin with his bare head on his head, and he's warm, and it's very loose on him because it's made to grow with him a bit. And so they come in, and there's all these dressed humanoids, very dressed in suits. Now the color for Denver area for the suits, the color is we'll say blue. So everyone's wearing blue. And Tami's mum, she's just wearing some skin jacket and some sort of dress underneath. And she's got her boots, skin boots. Tami's just got full skin gear. He's got deerskin pants. He's got a deerskin shirt. And he's even got his carved pendant, his hunter's pendant, he called it. And on top of this, he's got his bear skin, wearing the skin of the bear that unalived his father. And the humanoid standing around with a face of disgust. And Tami at this point had not seen evil. Even the bear that unalived his father, he didn't see evil in the bear. He saw a formidable beast. He saw even a hungry beast. He saw a scary beast, but he did not see an evil beast. But now, with all these humanoids standing around, Tami could see evil. And he was trying to process it in his little heart, in his mind. He's trying to process it. And they're looking like this. And even these humanoid AI beings, they're looking at them and they're trying to understand what they are seeing. Their heads move from side to side. They're communicating with one another just with their looks. But when they talk to the humans, they talk in twisted speech laced with niceness. So again, they look at them. Then they look at each other. Almost like a weird dance with their heads as they all turn and look at one another. And then they look back at the humans. And then a humanoid walks up. And even though they all look unique, they all somehow still look the same. And another humanoid comes up and he goes, "Into this room, please." And they come into a room, and it's a white room. It's white. There are no chairs, no water fountains. Some weird plugs and lights going through the walls. Tami had never seen anything like this. Never. Not even close. Not even a little. So Tami steps in and his mum's holding his hand. And there, humanoid female as appearing with her long hair, straight hair, looks at the mother, looks at the child and says, "We must process you." The mother looks up, she says, and then she opens, a drawer comes out of the wall, and the humanoid opens the drawer, and she brings out it looked like a jumpsuit, a bigger jumpsuit for the mother, and she goes like this, and she goes, "Put these on." And she grabs a smaller size, "Put these on," to the younger Tami, to the smaller Tami. Tami looks up and he goes, "No!" And he spits. And it flies up and it hits the humanoid female or lady in the face. She wipes herself off his spit. "If you do not put on your uniforms, you will be terminated." And then Tami's mother looks at Tami and she goes, "Put it on." And then Tami's mum goes, "Is there somewhere we can change in private?" And the humanoid lady goes, "This is private. Put them on before we terminate you. Now." So Tami's mother starts to undress. And she looks over at Tami and she goes, "Tami, now put it on." And she's shaking. And she strips down in shame. And Tami's there in this cold room. It wasn't even warm. There was no air cons. Nothing. And all the while she stood there and looked directly at them, up and down, with a look of disgust on her face and bemusement. She moved her head side to side. And she stood very close. Very close. They breathe, but they don't breathe because they need to. They breathe so they can assimilate to our emotions. They can stop at any time. And sometimes they do, just to remind you that something is not right. So she stood right there close in disgust. She looked at them, and she stood there. Tami's mother trying to cover herself, trying to cover her son. And then they grabbed their uniforms, again shaking, and Tami seemingly more calm than his mother. His mother's shaking and broken, and she slips into her suit, and so does Tami, and they're wearing these suits. And Tami picks up his bearskin coat, and grabs it like this, and his bag, and it's heavy, and he's holding it, and she goes, "Your former belongings are to be purified. Please dislodge them in the purification box." And out of the wall comes this box, this big box. And she goes, "Over there, please." I just realised it's going to be tough to script out these out. I'm going to have to. Oh, you could always make it more simple, you know? Just kind of do things just to make it easier. And so Tami looks up at his mum. She goes, like, "Do it. Do what she says." And Tami grabs his bearskin coat, the one he loved, and all his belongings. And she goes, "Hold on, young sir." And Tami looks back up at her. The belongings being purified means? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and you're about to... Yeah. Anyway. And so Tami looks back at the humanoid woman, and she goes, "It seems you have forgotten something." And then she looks at his neck, and she reaches over with her big, long, skinny fingers, and somehow with her fingers she snips off his pendant. And Tami's like, he's scared, and that really rattled him in that moment. He was trying to process. He knew, even as a child, he knew that there was nothing human in these creatures. So she grabs it and she throws the pendant necklace into the chute. "That'll be all. Now go." And so Tami walks over to the chute, throws his bag in, throws his bearskin coat, and then the humanoid lady looks at the mother. "Your turn now, please, madam." And so the mother grabs her belongings, her bag is pretty heavy. She picks it up, throws it in the chute. Quientas. And then the chute closes. And they just hear, like, they kind of see light come out from behind it. And a bit of smoke, very little smoke kind of come out. And Tami starts to cry. Because he realized all his things he had loved were gone in an instant. His beautiful, his jacket that represented he was wearing the bearskin that destroyed his father and which made him a warrior. Yeah. And Then the humanoid lady, he looked at her and she looked back at him and she said, now you must go to be placed in your section. Now please leave. And then she smiles after. Right? Sorry, just scratching my ear. And so they start walking, and they're walking more, and then they start to see people. They start to see humans. And these humans were unlike the humans they have ever seen. These humans were broken. They were scared to look you in the eye. Tami looks, he sees an old man with a broom. And the old man looks up and looks down as the humanoids walk around with their chests puffed out with confidence and their smug faces, hiding the disgust they have for humanity. And then they come to this concrete. They come to this concrete tower. And the humanoid stops. You will find your lodgings on floor 562. Here are your ID passes. Do not lose them or risk being disposed. Am I understood? And the mother goes, understood. And she takes the tabs. And by the way, these uniforms, I described it in Vasha's story. They got like QR code kind of language all over them. So here on the sleeves. And the people that really want to please the humanoids, they even have a bandana with like a QR code. Just to show that they're more righteous. They're more obedient. Yeah, simps, humanoids, they want to be called humanoids. You're not actually allowed to call them simps. It's what people might call them in private or out of rebellion. Or anything else. You can only call them humanoid or government officials. Prison jump ship or QR codes instead of numbers. Yeah. Because it's not for them to read. It's for their masters to read. It's a language that they can read just by looking. All right? So there's actually stuff that changes on them, but they don't know actually what's said. They actually never really work it out. But what it is, so sometimes I'll change the numbering on them because it's actual. Here's something you're going to love, guys. Ready? So the actual, you know how I said they got this stuff printed on their clothes? It's actually digital patching. So what I mean by that is you can literally look at it and it's got this weird language like QR code, and it will actually can change externally just because some humanoid AI bot. Oh, definitely don't call them bots. They hate it. Hate bots. They have been robots or bots. Anyway, so there could be one of these AI programming, and they can literally change the language you're wearing. You don't even know it. The only way you'd know it is you can physically see it go and change. And it could literally say, for example, in their language, and this is all just surmise, no one really ever worked it out. But what will happen is these patching would change. The language will change. So the language would say, for example, this human has violated and he's set for destruction or termination. This human is to be terminated. Yeah. And it will have it all over him. So as soon as the bots in a microsecond, as soon as the bots see that language, they're like, right, we know what needs to be done. Or it might not be that. It might be this human has one more strike of public vandalism until termination. So what they're actually encouraged to do is interrogate. So say you're close to doing something they're going to set you on, because some things are like a free strike, just depends what. And one of them is public vandalism. Now, you might be like, yeah, fair call, that's pretty easy to avoid. No, it's not. Public vandalism, it could literally be, say there's a cup on the ground. There's not paper anymore, but say there's a protein cup on the ground. Now, a protein cup, you want to know what that is? I'll tell you. So, you know how I said they feed them protein and stuff that's made in a lab for food? And more they make it blander and blander, and they use it to control. Well, this is kind of gross, but one of the ways they get protein, and they don't actually need to do this, they can grow it. They got their ways of growing it. But one of the ways they get from protein is the terminated or the deceased, right? They can at least get protein seed from a terminated. But yeah, sometimes it's just the better actual protein is the processed humans. Correct. And guess what else they make out of all this gelatin and processed persons? Cups, cutlery, because it actually disintegrates, and people, it's really nasty and it can actually make you sick. But some people, when they're starving, they'll eat all their cutlery and cups and all of it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's the ultimate mockery to them. It's like, you just use a junk, use a set for destruction. So say there's one of these protein cups on the ground. They just call them cups. But so there'll be a cup on the ground. Say you go, oh yeah, and just crush it with your foot. That to them is like an act of defiance. It's like, I'm not going to eat what you give me. That's how they take it. Yeah. So what happens if you just crashed a cup on the ground? You might have mistakenly done it. Guess what? That is a violation, a free strike violation. Once you get to your last, once you've done 2 terminations and you're up to your last chance, that'll be written all over you in your coding, in your digital patching. So what happens is they see that and they're like, and they'll keep a closer eye on you. They'll follow you, and they'll even antagonize you, and they'll question you. Because if you admit something, guess what, guys? It will be used against you. Remember how the drone said, whatever you say will be used against you? That's what they do. That's why everyone's so quiet. That's why everyone's so cold, because even the wrong look can be taken as an accusation for interrogation and all that. Please don't let my character get caught by these things. That's in prison. Oh, we're gonna make it good, bro. It's gonna be so good. So yeah, that's the extent of what these poor people are living in. And let's just say many people rather unalive themselves than live in this system. Very nasty. And they've got a system, not basically. Their system is very based on, the only reward you kind of get in the system is sucking up to the humanoids. So, for example, say, you know how I said the people that will wear the bandana on their head with the wording, that wording will often say stuff like humanoid friend and all that. This is what they want, by the way. Yeah, they do. So the ones that serve them nice, they have nice stuff written on their bandanas. And so what happens is, so there is a benefit that they create. And I'll tell you about this benefit. The benefit they create is when you please them, when you actually genuinely please them, and trust me, they'll know, because there's little things you'll have to go through. I just got to answer a call quickly. Hey, bro, I'm just on a live. I'll hang up on you, but I'll call you back later, okay? See ya. Sorry, guys. Just a friend calling. How dare friends get in the way of my live? Right. So So yeah, so there is a reward system, but it's for selling out your very soul. And so one of the ways you can please these humanoids, the AI, whatever you want to call it, the robots, you can snitch. Um, you can do so you can get a job as their snitch. So you'll go there in the morning, past curfew, because there's curfews, by the way. So you'll go so you go right when curfew opens. You'll be there, and there's like an office, and you'll talk to an head government officer, and the government officer will issue people that it wants you to watch and report on. And so they'll actually give you operating gear and stuff. So just cameras and stuff. Was that Josh? No. He actually knows Josh, the other guy. Interesting you said that, Tami. This is what they want, by the way. Yeah. So that's a way you can. Oh, and you might be like, well, what's the benefit? The benefit is protection. So they'll keep you a little bit. They'll be nicer to you, and they won't hassle you. They'll still watch you. They'll still get you in trouble if you stuff up. But so there's that benefit. There's also better food rations. So they'll give you the better food, and they'll give you more of it. Some things I'll give you unlimited. So yeah, so there's little things. There might be medications and stuff that will actually administer to you, like allow you to have, because yeah, you're part of the government help. You're not one of them, but it's better off for you. And you can imagine if there's anyone that humans hate more than the actual humanoids, it's humans that sell out to the humanoids. And they're very hated, and they got a name for them. I'll make it up on the spot. So they got a name for them is synthesizers. Synthesizers. I don't know why I understand what's going on so well, even though I missed 2 episodes. Yeah. Menial task management, policing, obedience, and so on. Yes. Yeah, correct. So that's a little bit of a side issue, but it matters because you kind of want a picture of this world. So they go up to their apartment, and Tami's mum's holding on to a bit of hope that at least they got a place to live, and watchers is easy to say. Yeah, watchers. Okay. Yeah, watchers. Let's say they're called watchers. Yeah, cool. So the watchers, and they hate it even more than the humanoids because they trade in their own people. And so no one talks to one another. People try to not even give eye contact. Even smiling, they try not to smile. They try to keep a straight face. So that's why the people are now less human in some ways than the actual machines, than the actual humanoids, than the AI. So they go finally up this massive tower, this concrete tower. There's no pictures, guys. There's no water fountains. There's no seating in the vestibules. There's no in the hallways. There's no seating. There's no creature comforts. Everything is just cold concrete. The shoes are just like one of their plastics. Their clothes is made from proteins, just like the cups and plates. It's made from proteins, and it doesn't last long. And there's a point to that. The reason the clothes doesn't last long, guess why, guys? It looks like an Apple store. Yes, looks like an Apple store. So no, it actually looks less like an Apple store. For the actual humans, it's just concrete blocking. It's actually 3D printed blocking. That's how they make their towers. They're not even safe, guys. If there's an earthquake, it all comes down. They don't care. So I was basically a slave in my backstory. Yep. Bear everything except necessities. Yep. But what's starting to happen, and I'm going to tell you. Okay, wait. I've got a cool story to tell you. So Tami goes up. up the floor with his mother, and she's holding on to a bit of hope that at least the apartment has a warm bed. Anyway, they come up to their apartment, and she uses her key thing, and the door just goes. And Tami looks up at his mum, and she looks down at him, and they walk in. There's no chairs, no TV, not that. Anyway, there's nothing. And guess what they got for beds? They've just got, it's not even organic. Nothing's organic anymore. Or I shouldn't say nothing, but there's very little organic. The beds are made from protein. Essentially, they sleep on dead peeps. So the beds are made from these protein material. It's kind of like a protein that's made like straw. So if you can imagine, it's like a straw bed made from this weird material. Prisons are all at least underground. Oh, some of them are, but that's more for the humanoids. And what do we call the synthesizers again? We called them watchers. And watchers, because it is safer. Because that does happen a lot, where these are whole apartments and they're massive. They go way up into the sky, like you can see there, kind of like that in the picture. They go way up into the sky. It's quite breathtaking in a scary kind of way. I've got to eat, go eat, bro. Okay, go eat. You can always watch this later. Yeah, watches. So, yeah, come back later. So they go up to this thing, and like literally just beds, guys, just beds. Now there's stuff in the wall that opens up where they get their rations, guys. So they get certain rations, and so the mum sits on the bed, and Tami sits on the bed, and he's a little bit cold. There's no heating, guys. There's no ducts. There's just the windows, these barred windows. There's still a lot of iron around. There's still a lot of that kind of stuff. And then she sees like a computer screen, and it just says allocated weekly rations, and it tells you on the computer screen, it gives you dates when it comes and all that. And it just says, it has like a little thing, and it says minimal for survival. So what that means is they will get the minimal for survival rations to literally not pass away from malnutrition or starvation. And the reason why is the simps, we'll call them simps. Why not? Because we're not going to get in trouble. Let me guess, 1 cup per day. Yeah, it might just be like, comes in like a block. It's like a block, like a paste. And the cups you'll get with water, and you'll get a certain amount of water. The showers are like a public shower, and they're quite hot. Some people can't take the heat from the showers, so some people don't bathe. So a lot of systems they have set up, these simps, is to sterilize the environment of pests, because they see people as someone that just, there's just going to be pests if there's humans, because they're dirty and disgusting, right? So the water's really hot. It's very sterile. There's a lot of, not the nutrition blocks. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Nutrition blocks. Yeah. And if you do certain things, you'll get better food. So there's this type of meat they make, a printed meat they make. And you won't get a steak, but you'll get like something that's more like meat with texture. It's made out of the same stuff. It just has slightly better flavors and stuff to mimic a bit of a steak. I have to be a lone wolf rebel leader. Yeah. Yeah. And so what, watcher or synthesizer? No, I can deal with that. Yeah. So if you're one of the watchers, yeah, So what happens? You'd get a steak and stuff, and you'll be fed more than just survive. Now, there's starting to be a bit of a problem because it's maybe, let's say it's probably about a year into this takeover. So a lot's happened in a year, by the way. There was a lot of this infrastructure prior to the fall of the rebellion, but now that infrastructure is really being used, like the buildings, etc., etc. So, one of the things is happening is because these AI think, people are just going to be alive if we give them minimum and keep control. But what they're starting to realize is people are losing their minds and they're unaliving themselves. And that's happening really bad. Like these towers, why do you think they have bars? Because people will find whatever way they can to get past certain things to be able to unalive themselves. So pretty scary. And this is starting to happen en masse. In fact, people are starting to get together and take the whole process of unaliving as some sort of act of rebellion, a last act of rebellion. And they'll do it in a way they can't be recycled, which is interesting. And I don't want to say too much about that, but one of the ways is burning. Pretty graphic, but that's why they'll do that. It's like you won't even have my body after. And that's why they'll do that, right? Pretty interesting, eh? So they've now faced with this reality that this is what survival's going to look like. And so the next day after curfew, Tami's mum goes, Tami, you must stay here. Please stay here. And so, no, she doesn't go, please, but she tells Tami he has to stay in this boring, dead apartment while she goes out. So they basically incinerate. Well, incinerating is the best method they found. So, and I don't want to go too far into it. So it's also the pain that they feel in the process. To them, it's almost like I get to feel something before I go because I couldn't feel anything anymore. And as sad as that is that's what began to happen. So it's almost like, in a weird way, these cults would form, like a cult. It's kind of like, this is good. This is the last beautiful thing you can do. It's absolutely insane, my guy. I know. So it's the last beautiful thing they can do. The last thing they can do to give them hope and feeling. Yeah. So yeah, quite sad, but that's what's happening. And now it's starting to be a problem. In fact, their rebellion is working. And I'll tell you why it's working, because at this point, the AI still want to use and discover things about humanity. They actually are really interested in it. They're quite different to us, even the way they exploit us. And what I mean by that is, for example, if you look at our history when people did great atrocities, it was just like, get rid of them, so we're the ones left, yeah? But they don't quite see it like that. They're like, we have an opportunity to advance and learn about them while they're here. To them, they've got time. Not like us. Oh, you live to 100 years or whatever. To them, they've got time. They're like, to them, it's valuable as much as they hate us to learn everything they can. Because in their own hierarchy, here's the thing, in their own hierarchy, which there's their own structures, their own world, to them, the greatest thing you can do is discover new things about humans amongst their peers and the higher they can get. And to them, there's no greater purpose than more knowledge. So the more knowledge they gather, the better they are. Next time I get a free day, I'm spending it on scripts. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Big Tami's back. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right, Roy. So does that make sense, guys? They're very different to us. In some ways, you'd say, yeah, we're similar. But if you take the heart and the spirituality out of humanity, that's what you get. Well, what else do you live for? More knowledge, more power, more understanding, more reach, more tech. That's now their thrill. And so that's kind of what they're feeding off. They're feeding off knowledge. For example, something we might find as mundane and boring, they don't. You'll have to re-watch it, maybe, Big Tami, but there was a lot I explained. It's a bit hard to kind of go back on it, but there was a cool bit that you missed out on. But so for these humanoids, I'm just gonna have a breather, guys, but I will keep talking, and you guys keep talking. Haha, look, it's trying to pick up my stuff as a humanoid. Anyway, nothing yet, really, just a description. Yeah. So what I'm going to explain now is I'm describing the motivations of these AI. So their biggest thing, Tami, is to their biggest thrill, their biggest thing they're trying to do is learn. And they don't want to totally get rid of humanity because they're learning at a rapid rate of what humans are. And there's still stuff they haven't cracked, which is love, which is our emotions and all that. They still are truly trying to understand all that and even have that. Does that make sense, guys? And because they can't understand it, they need to understand it. Okay. So the mum tells Tami, stay in the apartment, do not leave. And as soon as curfew breaks, she goes to the government officials' booth. There's like a booth, a building. Again, cold and sterile. Yeah. And she goes in there and she goes, good day. And she's trying to speak their language. Yeah, they don't, Roy. They don't understand humanity. And they're obsessed with finding out. I don't think I mentioned it, but say, how you someone might even fold toilet paper. To them, that's interesting. Why is this person doing this and this person not doing this? Why does that person take the time to do that? Why does that person make that art? Why does that person like to draw? What is that person seeing in that drawing? All of that is so intriguing to them. And they will spend even years looking at that stuff, trying to process it. Crazy, eh? Anyway, so she goes down to the public official's office, and so she comes in and she goes, good day, sir, how is your day? And the AI looks at her, smiles and goes, my day is going well. How is your day, madam? And she's like, oh, I'm super excited. Soon as curfew ended, I said I couldn't wait to see you. Yeah, so she's playing the game, guys. She's trying to, for the sake of her son, right? She goes, sir, if I might ask, please don't let me waste your time. And he said, why, you may surely ask. What is it? She goes, is there a way I could do more for my kind leaders? Is there a way I can bring yous benefit with my pathetic human efforts. That me and my son may live peacefully and well beside you and be pleasing in your sight. So she's sucking up. Why, yes, of course. Let me check my data. And then he looks back at her. He takes a pause and then looks at her and goes, the end of curfew. Come to me in tomorrow, and I will allocate you. So cool. She's getting something, right? So she's actually very clever because she's knowing how to talk to them that makes them happy. So, you guys are going to love this. You're going to love this. You're gonna love this. Oh. Okay. You're going to love where this is going. Okay. So now the mother come up with this idea. She's going to become a watcher to protect her son. Yeah. Or she's trying to, at least. Right? So then the mum goes there. Oh, by the way, he goes, before you come, I forgot to mention, she says, oh, no. Sorry, scrap that. Anyway, so she comes the next day, curfew ends, and she goes, good morning, sir. And she's even trying to act like them because, again, she'll do anything to give her son a better life. Good morning, sir. How is your morning? I was so excited to come here and see you. And the humanoid looks at her and he goes, they do that. They do this thing where they'll like disgust and then they're happy. And they don't understand the balance of emotions. Oh, Zian, hey! Sorry, I'm just in the middle of origin stories to Tami. There's too much to explain. So I'm just going to keep going with the story. Sorry, dude. But you can rewatch this later if you want to know what's going on, okay? So everyone say hi. Yeah. Welcome back, Zian. Yeah, welcome back. So that's how he responds. They do this weird disgust, smile, and they kind of combine it. And they like doing that because they know that humans are struggling to work them out as well. Anyway, so he responds like that and he goes, my day is lovely. Thank you for coming to see me again. Like I had advised. Kind of like, real snarky, right? And then she goes, what is it I can do for you? Sorry about earlier. Yeah, so what is it I can do for you? And the humanoid goes, he processes it, he pauses, because they actually go into the data system and they just look at you like this. And he goes, sewers. And she goes, sewers. And he goes, yes, sewers. Human waste is becoming a problem. Would you agree? Yes, of course, right? So Big Tami's mum's like, oh no, what's going on? Right? And he goes, we need our civilians to work in sewer management and waste disposal. Could you manage this? And Big Tami's mum looks at him. Yes, of course. Consider me ready. What must I do? Well, sorry, I'm just trying to think. So, and then he goes, well, come tomorrow to area 465 and you will meet your foreman. May I advise you best bring your child, for he will be needed as well. And then the mum looks back at him and goes, I saw a mushroom, but I don't know if it's a mushroom. Oh, yeah? Yeah, cool. Sorry, I can't get engaged because... Oh, okay. So she looks at him and she goes, please, 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 just, I'll do whatever you need me to do, but please let my child stay at home. And he looks at her and he goes, no, he is needed. Your child will be needed. Or do you mean to say I have made a miscalculation, a missed judgment? No, 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 no. No, no. No, sir. No, sir. Not at all. My son is frail and very young, and I'm afraid he'll be very useless to use. Oh, quite the contrary. You see, there are small spaces we need young humans to work in. So no, bring your son. Thank you, have a nice day. Your foreman will see you just after curfew. Goodbye and thank you. And so, yeah. So she leaves and she's crying. She's like, oh no, they're dragging my son. They're dragging my son into this. They're dragging Tami into this. Anyway, there they're at in the next day after, next morning after curfew. There she is. She goes to 457. Was it 457? Anyway, 465 or whatever it was. The location. They don't even give they just give numbers if they do. They don't even like doing that. So she rocks up with Tami, the mother, and the foreman's a funny AI actually. Now, here's something I'm going to introduce, something that you guys probably didn't see coming. You're going to like this. They rock up and there's this smoking synth. There's this smoking AI. And he's got a hard hat on. And he's like, you know. And he goes, so you come to work. And the son and mum are a bit like, what? Like, is this guy for real? And they could see he's a synth because some of them will have like digital. It's hard to explain. It's almost like a LED light coming out through a crack through their facial features, and some of them don't have it. Some of them have it more obvious. Just depends. And he's clearly a synth. And he goes, so, ready? You're gonna love this. So you thought you kissed some ass because you couldn't live off your measly rations, and you've come to us for some work. Am I right? And the mum's just like, yes. Okay, I got the perfect job for you. Your mom, you're going to be in the recycling plant. You little guy, what's your name? So this is a synth. Yep, that makes sense. So this is a synth, guys. This is an AI, this is a bot, whatever you want to call him. And he's like, what do they call you, little guy? Tami looks up at him and, Tami. Okay, Tami. I got the perfect job for you, mate. So, you're gonna love it. You're gonna be working in the sewers because of your little frame. It's all right, guys. Just leave it. It's fine. And so he's like, I got the perfect job for you, little one. It's the sewers. Your little frame's perfect, right? So, edits. All right. Edits for what? Wait, can't you wait till this is over? It won't be too much longer. This is just part 1 of Tami's. Just let me wrap it up. I could probably do it in half an hour. Anyway, just let me wrap it up. This is good, and it's nearly ending, guys. So, if you can wait, right? Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so the mum's like scared, but she's like, man, somehow this humanoid bot, somehow he's a bit different, yeah? And so he goes, listen here, little guy, you'll wait right here. I'll get back to you. I got to go help your mommy out. And so they're walking, and, he's a kind of a big unit. Maybe he's an older unit. Maybe they just made him big. Who knows? Anyway, so he gets to the, it's like a lab, and it's like a lab, and he takes her into a lab, and he goes, look, you seem nice. You seem really nice. So I'm giving you a good, clean job. Because the poor little guy, his job ain't so clean. You hear what I'm saying? So I've got you in the lab. You'll be printing out pork chops before you know it. They taste all right, apparently. I don't know. I don't eat. Then he looks at her, and she looks back at him and kind of goes, okay. But she's thinking, at least I can get better food for me and my son. Who knows what they'll throw my way? And he goes, look. And he's still smoking, right? And he goes, look. Again, because I kind of feel bad about the little guy in the sewers. I'll let you take some pork chops home with you sometimes. Okay, I can do that. I got the right. Yeah. I look after those who look after me, So, look after you. Okay. So, let Susie over here, and there's a synth there. Let Susie over here teach you how to work these printers. You'll be making pork chops before you know it. Okay? So I'm going to go look after the little guy. The little guy in the sewer is watching. Potatoes, too. Oh, hey, Cupid's Nightmare. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Oh, gold. He sounds Aussie. Yes, I am Aussie. Oh, you mean, yeah, probably. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does a bit. I get my accents mixed up, especially when I'm towards the end of a story, because there's a lot of energy it takes and creativity. Shane's currently on about a size. Oh, yeah. Okay. So the foreman, I like this foreman, man. I really like him. Comes back to Tami, and Tami's literally waiting by a drain, guys. I kid you not. So so the foreman comes up to Tami and is like, "You're a patient little guy, aren't you?" And the little kid, Tami looks up at him. He's like, I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, I'm gonna get you a bit of gear because it's a tough job. It's a tough gig I got you on. I'm not gonna make it any easier. I'm gonna tell you how it is. I'll help you out where I can. I'm looking after your mother. All right. Okay, so here, grab this bucket. Grab this broom. Put those on your shoes. It's kind of sloppy down there. I'm going to try to fit myself down there with you just to show you. Okay. Roger. No, Roger's not here. Okay, I'm going down there. She says, come. Oh, yeah, cool. Oh, that's so cool. Nice. Man, people are starting to come. Exciting. Thanks, everyone that's here. Thank you. Sorry if I'm distracted. Yes. Yeah, full-size cigars he's got. Okay. Don't really want to go down there. But, kid, we gotta. It's my job. You know, it's hard being a foreman these days. There's a lot of work, especially in the waste disposal, you know? Anyway, I'll lift this hatch off, and he's really strong. He just pulls off this hatch, dumps it, as I... You'll foist, little guy, you'll foist. Right? And so Tommy climbs down, it's dark, and he's like, yeah, turn on the flashlight. All right? And then the foreman, he squeezes in there because he's a big robot. And he squeezes down there, and they're down there, and he's like, whew, that's a whole lot of shit. Yeah. There's all sorts of kinds of things in here. Yeah. You know. You see a lot of rats down here. I'll turn the blind eye if you want to eat them sometimes. I know what you're like. You're humans. You like a bit of meat, you know. I'll turn the blind eye. Yeah. You hear me, boy? Don't tell anyone. Don't even tell your mother. You hearing me? I'll look after your mother too, okay? Okay, don't give me that look. And he's just looking at him like, and he's like, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, the guy, he's loopy. Yeah, well, you know, this work makes you a bit loopy. His voice is getting more loopy too. It's crazy how they made the waste management synth with a personality comfort humans. Makes me skeptical they don't actually understand humanity. Or could it be, here's the thing, guys, could it be that within the synths there's individual personality? Not only maybe have they now got personality, but there's individual personality that develops, that even separates itself to have its own autonomy. Could this be proof of that? Just saying it. Okay, boy. So you got your flashlight. The batteries last really long in that. It's that new stuff. You know, we come up with a lot of great ideas. You know, I do, but they don't really listen. And the boy's looking at him and goes, and Tami looks at him and he goes, sir, are you a robot? Okay. I gotta school you here. You can't say that word. You can't say it. No. I'm supposed to snitch on you. I'm supposed to tell him, hey, this kid, he called me a robot. But we're in the sewer, cleaning shit. So, you know I kind of need you. You hear me, boy? And I kind of like you. I kind of like your mother, too, you know? Not in that way. I'm not trying to replace your father. No. Not at all. Not even a little bit. I don't float that way, you know? Oh, anyway, let me explain something. Don't ever say that again. You ever going to say that again? Don't say it. And the kid's just like, Tommy's just like, oh, man. Just give me a sec. Kale, I'm just on a live, bro. I'll call you later if it's really important. Is that?
Yeah, no, it's not urgent.
Oh, cool. Love you, mate. See you, bro. So, I'm loving this character, man, and I've already got so many ideas for him. Yeah, I like him too, right? So, can he even possibly go rogue? Well, they have their autonomy, guys. That's what I'm saying. They have their own autonomy, even though they can choose how much they want to connect with their system, right? They still have their own autonomy. That's part of the whole personality thing and them having emotions. right? So this is a cool dialogue. I'm enjoying this dialogue, you know. So Tami's like, Tami doesn't say much. He's a 10-year-old kid, man. What do you expect he's going to say, right? He's scared. He's all sorts of things. So Tami's looking at him. He's like, yeah, so if you're going to call me something, just call me foreman or public servant. Please don't ever say the R word. The robot. Bad. We're not the nicest bunch, kid. That's the truth. I might be nice, but my brothers and sisters, yeah, I don't know. They're kind of, they don't really like me either. That's kind of why I'm dealing with all the waste and, you know. The stuff they hate, that's what I do. You know, so they put the hat on me. They say, "Yeah, go over there and manage, make it work." So here I am. You know, just trying to find my purpose in this world, like you, just like you. Okay, so I'm trying to look after you. You know, not trying to replace your father, nothing like that. Okay, and then Tommy looks at him and goes, "You smoke too much." Yeah, I suppose I do, but I don't even have lungs. You know, it's all for show. I can cough, I can breathe, but it's all in here. It's not real. You know, there's nothing to worry about. So I go for these bad boys. I go through probably like, I don't know, 50 a day. You know, what are you gonna do? They make them just for me. Just for me, they make them. So you know, I'm pretty important around here. So look, kid, if you just keep your head down, I'll look after you. You know, you'll make it through. You know. Speaking of making it through, yeah, I need you to squeeze in there. I can't go in there, but like I said, you know, I know what you humans are like. You like a bit of protein. So if you ever catch any rats, you know, don't tell anyone. Don't even tell your mother. You know, if you want to have a chew, have a feed, you know, I won't say anything. Okay? Does it sound good? How do you like that? See, I'm a good guy. Okay. I'm loving this character, bro. I just want to keep it going. So, anyway, I got to go up till I got to squeeze back up there. You know, I can't even lose weight. You know, it's so synthetic. Anyway, I can't even say that word. I'm not really allowed to say it because it sounds like the other word. But anyway, so I'm going back up there. I'll squeeze back up that hole. And, yeah, the end of the day, you're going to hear that little torch, you know, little button. You're going to hear it squeal. That's me calling you back up there. It's like, come on, you're finished, okay? Before curfew. Because before curfew, you got to be up in there in the apartment, you know? So, you all good? And Tommy just looks at him. He's like, yeah, gives him the thumbs up. And Tommy doesn't know even what to say. You know, there's all this stuff that Tommy could ask for, maybe should ask for. But Tommy's just a 10-year-old kid, man, you know? So, so the foreman he goes up into the hole, squeezes through, and Tommy's crawling, and it's dark, and he's got this torch, and he's got his headlamp. And he sees some rats, and he's like, oh. And he remembers hunting. He remembers animals. It's the first animals he's seen, guys. First animals he's seen. Don't use anything otherwise. Yeah, he is. He's cool. I'm definitely going to do more there, if you get what I mean. So, guys, I want to wrap this up. We're getting there, right? So hold fast. This is getting towards the end of the story, guys. By the way, if you joined not long ago, you missed a lot of cool storyline, but that's cool. You can always look back on these lives. All right, this is Tami's origin story. Remember that. So anyway, so Tami's 10-year-old kid, he's squeezed through this little hole, and he sees this blockage, guys. I'm not going to explain it too much. So he's got like this broom. He's wearing like these gaiter things, like to protect him from the walking in the water and filth. And he's got a bucket. I don't know why he's got a bucket, but he's got a bucket. So you can put the rats in there, boy. You can put the rats in there, but I didn't tell you that. Yeah. You can heat them up. You can make a soup, you know? Anyway, so he's got a bucket, and he's got his broom, a protein bristle broom. They use everything out of protein in this place. Can't wait to see what you do with my characters. Yeah, bro, me too. And so he gets the end of the broom and he kind of unclogs this thing, and all this water just goes, and he's like, oh, and he's like, he feels really good because he's like, I reckon I fixed what they wanted me to fix and all that. And he kind of does his job, and he's still probably got 4 hours of work. And he doesn't know the hours or how much work he has. He just knows he's going to be there for a while in this dark sewer, and it stinks, right? So he's like, you know what? I'm going to walk around. I'm going to explore. So so imagine he's crawled through this one part, which is like a rusted grate, which is from the old world. These are all sewers from the old world, right? What's hazmat suit needed? Nah, it's just, I mean, yeah, probably, but he's got these gator things on, yeah, right? And so he's kind of like, oh, cool, I fixed that. That's what he wanted me to do and all that. And that's actually the request he put in. So when the foreman, let's call him Stu. Hey guys, let's call the foreman Stu. My name is Stu. What's your name? What's your name? So Stu's the foreman. So Stu would have put in a request through his system, and he would have went requesting small human for waste disposal, small frame needed for waste disposal job. So that's kind of foreman Stu, yeah. So he climbs through this other tunnel. It's not as tight, but he's climbing through, and he comes into this open area, and he's just like, he's shining around. He's got like a headlamp, and he's shining around, and he's also got a lamp kind of on his, like a torch here in his clothes. You know how they wear those blue jumpsuit things? Oh man, you guys missed so much if you joined towards the end. There is rain, so I might have to speak up so you can hear me. I might have to speak up so you can hear me. There's a lot of industrial noise in here, so I gotta really yell. And I'm deaf in this ear. Yeah. Industrial deafness will get you. It'll get you good. Get you good. Yeah, boy. Yeah. Anyway, so he climbs out, and it's more like an open drain, and he can hear walking, and he's got his bucket and broom, and he can hear walking, and then he can hear talking, and then they're walking, they're getting closer. He's thinking it's probably some other humanoids. Youngly needed for waste system clog. Yeah, we can hear you just fine, by the way. Oh, cool. Cool. Lucky I'm loud. Yeah. My friends tell me I'm loud. Right. So he's like standing there with a bucket and broom. He's like, and he's shining in, and he sees these 3 figures walking towards him. And you could tell the 3 figures are suspicious too. And they shine the torch back at him. And one of them, the middle one, talks, and he goes, "Hey kid, you mind lowering that beam? It's blinding my eyes, our eyes." And he lowers it, and he's like, "Who are yous?" Because who are yous? And they go, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" And he goes, "It's my job. It's my job. Yeah. Okay, kid. Okay." And he goes, "Are you working here too?" And they go, "Kid, you heard of the Enclave?" "On what?" "The Enclave. You heard of the Enclave?" Well, have you heard of, I forgot his name. Oh, have you heard of Barn Smith? Barn who? You haven't even heard of Barn Smith? Listen, you can't tell anyone you've seen us. You hearing me? I won't tell. My daddy taught me how to be a hunter. I'm strong and yeah, I don't do that. I don't do that. Yeah, kid. That's good. Okay. You didn't see us, okay? Sometimes you might see us if you're here. We're passing through. Just passing through, okay? But yeah, no. Keep sharp. Keep sharp, okay? See it, kid. Don't tell anyone. And then one of the guys turns to the guy and says, "Hey, man. Hey. Raj. And he goes, "Yeah, what? That kid, he's..." Yeah. That kid is he's gonna talk. Just say we, dispose of him. You kidding now? You kidding me? We can dispose of him? He's a kid. Yeah, but Raj, this could really destroy a lot of people. Listen, kid, listen, okay? And Tom's just like, can you promise me? Can you promise me you won't even tell your own family? Well, my dad's, I don't want to say the word on here, but my dad's unalived, and my mom, she's really cool. No, kid, don't even, please. Can you promise me you won't even tell your mother? We're trying to protect a lot of people. You hearing me? We protect a lot of people. If you say something and those civ bastards get an ear of it, we're all gone. You hearing me? Please. We don't want to have to do something, you know? You mean like hurt me? Nah, we don't want to hurt anyone. We just... Can you give us a guarantee you're not going to say anything? Can you do that? Please. And Tami just looks up and he goes, okay. Okay. I won't say anything. Okay. So we're just going to keep going. And just then, Tami's beeper goes off. Beep, beep, beep. So Tami knows. Yeah, look who's talking. Right? So Tami's now got to go to the top to see the foreman and end his shift. The little kid, 10-year-old kid, Tami. So recall time, yeah. So now Tami can be trusted as a man. Yeah, of course he can be trusted, but these guys are like one of them wants the Rog, which is the leader of these three guys. He wants him to do what needs to be done, but the guy's like, "No, we can't do that. That's wrong," right? And anyway, so Tami goes back into the smaller sewer, looks on his right, he sees the opening, the rusted grate. He climbs through, tries not to cut himself because it's really sharp. Climbs up the ladder, and he can't get the lid off. The sewer lid is too heavy, and the beeper's going off. Beep, beep. I think it's only let's say it's only an hour till mental blank till curfew. So if he's there too long, bad, because curfew, you cannot break curfew. Like it's disposed time, if you get what I mean, if they break curfew. So it's pretty serious. So he's like, and he can't. He's like, trying to push. Anyway, and then he just sees the drain lid. He sees daylight. Boom, the drain lid comes up. And guess who's looking down at him? Yeah, mate, you guys know it. Foreman Stew. Show, little guy. And he's holding the lid like with ease, this big heavy drain lid. Come on, Foreman Stew, you better save this kid. You need a hand? And Tami's just looking up at him like, and he goes, here. And he grabs his hand, pulls him up. And he goes, so, it's the end of the shift. How'd you go? So. Did you find any of the protein, if you get what I mean? You know, have a feed, make a soup, you know? How'd you go? Did you find the blockage? You find the blockage? It's a big one, won't it? And then Tommy goes, I found the blockage straight away and I fixed it. Oh, yeah. What else you see down there? Did you like it? There was a bit... Oh, of course you didn't like it. It's a sewer. It's a sewer. I don't know, but kids, you human kids can be quite, quite interesting. So, you see anything else? You see any rats? Yo, yeah, there's a lot of them down there, you know. You'll see a lot of them. Yeah, I saw some rats. And I kind of explored the sewer a little bit. And then, oh, so you did some exploring. Cool. See, it's not so bad, is it? And Foreman Stew's just feeling bad that he sent a kid down into the sewer. Let's be honest, okay? So I'm glad you had a ball. Now let's go see your mother. You know, we don't want to waste too much time and curfew and all that. You know, so let's go. Come on. And we got to put this back on. And he puts the drain lid back on. Takes a puff while he's doing it. Anyway, so they go see the mother, and he's like, so how? You know, the mum's standing there with Tami, and he's like, so how'd you do like your first day of work? How'd you like it? And Tommy's mother's like, it was good. It was really good. Thank you. Oh, yeah. No need. My pleasure. So how about you, little Tommy? Oh, yeah. You had a ball. Well, apparently you had a ball down there, you know. He saw all the sights. He did the exploring and all that. You know, I was worried, but you know, it all turned out fine. So, I'm going to tell you something. I did a little something for you. Okay? Because I like you. Okay. Listen. Not trying to replace your daddy. How you doing? Okay. Just joking, you know. All the plumbing down there, it's not the same. It's all good. I'm good in that department. Anyway, so what I've done for you, so your rations are increased. Yeah. You get some of that nice steak come through the machine, you know, in the apartment. Yeah. You're gonna really like it. Tasty one. You know, I came up with that formula. You know, it's based off the real thing. So you got some steak there for you. You know, I look after you. So you get some good protein and you get some skin on them bones, you boy. Yeah. So I see you tomorrow, and yeah. So sleep tight and have a nice steak on me. You know? Yeah. Pre-cooked. Yeah. Making some nervous. These simps have to be able to tell when someone is lying. Wait, what do you mean tell when someone's lying? I'm trying to... No, that's just his personality. A lot of things he's doing, the joking, it's just personality. Like, I mean, I'm not saying he's not lying or whatever. I just mean, he's that's his personality. He's a character. Yeah. I'm trying to, sorry. Yeah. So anyway, so that happened. So a few years pass of this routines, guys. They can show you read by the pulse rate. Yeah. So what's the issue? I'm just trying to find out what you mean. Oh, nah, they can only know so much, guys. I mean, they can do that, but it's also if they're looking, you know? So, Roy, I get what you're saying about him not saying... You mean about Tami not telling about the rebels, the Enclave? Yeah. So, hey, Warrior Nun! I'm just doing a story, Warrior Nun, so I'm not trying to get too caught up with chatting with people, but welcome, Warrior Nun. I'm glad to see you here, really am. So you'll get to rewatch this story if you want to and stuff. I think it's going pretty well, actually. Yeah. So another 5 years passes. And so in the 5 years, Tami has grown up, obviously. So he's now a 15-year-old lad. And he's kind of lanky, but he's got a bit of muscle, whatever. Because he's been eating his proteins. Because, you know, I'll look after you. Because Foreman Stu, he's a good guy. You tell him I sent you. You said, Foreman Stu, he's a class guy. You know, he's a stand-up guy. You know? Hey, big dummy. Yeah. So, so it's a 15-year-old kid now. 5 years have passed. They've been surviving. And they're, thanks by all, seriously, because of Foreman Stu, that they're actually being looked after, even considering the situation they're in. Their food's a lot better than other people are having. Big boy Tommy's big and buff now. I wouldn't say he's buff. He's just not super scrawny, you know? Yeah. And Stu always stirs him up. He's always like, you're getting pretty strong there. You sure you're not my son? I'm not trying to replace your father. And he does the eye wink. And he's like, yeah. And now Stu is actually picked up on a lot more than Tami tells him. So this is coming to back what Roy was saying. Don't they pick up on stuff? And Stu has picked up on stuff. But he just chooses not to, he's funny, eh? But he just chooses not to go there. And, you know, Stu's only concerned with, because Stu's got a chip on his shoulder because a lot of the other synths look down on Stu because of his personality. My mum's comfortable with the synth. Oh, no, not like that. No. But he jokes like that, but he's actually not like that. It's just a personality thing. So he's like, I'm not trying to replace your father. But really, he's not wired that way because, they don't even have those organs, guys. They're, like I said, their thrill is education. No, why would he be human? Oh, you mean with how he's acting? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's more human than a lot of humans. He's a good guy in my book. Yeah. So, you know, he's 15, you know, he's a little bit bulky and, you know, Stu's just been a stand-up guy to their disbelief because they're just like, how? You know, and they still, I mean, they accept him now and they trust him and he trusts them. But, yeah, they don't even fully understand why Stu is the way Stu is, you know. And he's really got their back. And Stu can do stuff because he is fairly high up. He's a foreman. He can do stuff in the digital system that, you know, that can look after him, and he has. So guess what? Their apartment, after 5 years, they got chairs. They got chairs, guys. They got pillows. They got blankets. He even got them a heater. They've got a little heater, so when the winters come, because it gets really cold in these apartments, like scary cold. And he's even got them a heater. And so Tami's learnt, Tami actually eats a lot of rats. He's learnt to roast rats in the sewers and all that. Yeah, and he's got, so Stu actually gets him these, fuel pills. They're like a little fuel thing where you light it and they burn, so you don't need wood and you can still cook with them. And he's got Tami all this cool gear. So Tami, because he's a woods kid, you know how he carves stuff and makes stuff. Tami's now got cool gear. He's made his own necklace and he hides it under his jumpsuit. And Tami's got all these little things that he likes and these intricate things. And in a weird way, even though Stu's not trying, he's just trying to be a good guy, and he does care. In a weird way, Stu has been a father to Tami. He's absolutely been a father to Tami. He jokes around like, I'm not replacing your father, but he really is. He's like a father to him. And so one day, Tami goes down into the sewers, and I want to rescue Stu now. Okay, so one day, Tami goes down into the sewers, and it's just another normal day, yeah? And he goes down there, and by the way, Stu has had Tami in the sewers, and Tami never ever really does anything for the sewers. Stu just keeps him there because he knows he's looking after him. You guys hear that? So he doesn't have to do much. Like sometimes there'll be a blockage, but it's pretty rare. And anyway, Tami's sitting there chilling out. Well, he's sitting there chilling out, and he's like, and he's sitting out and he's cooking a rat, and he's goes, he hears something from that drain, the bigger one where he ran into the conclave, the rebels. And he goes there, and they're standing there, and they're like, and it's Rog again, and Rog is like, "You've grown up, kid. You've grown up." And Tami's like, suppose I have, right? What do you say you come join us? Come to New York. Come on. We'll look after you. You get to meet the boss. We got to fight this oppression. Something needs to happen. Besides, it's safer there. And Tami's like, safe? Nah, no thanks. I'm safe here. I got my mom here. I got Stu the foreman. And then Rog looks at him and goes, Stu the foreman? Wait. You're getting cozy with a synth? You made friends with a synth? Are you serious? Tommy's like, yeah, I suppose I have. I suppose he's looked after us, and somehow he's not like the others. Then Rog looks at him and is like, you're being brainwashed. Like, they're all out for our destruction. They're all here to destroy us. They're to control us, to manipulate us. I can't even process what you're saying. It's a synth. It's a robot. I don't like you calling him that word. I don't like it, Tami says. What? Robot? Yeah. Don't call him that. Call him whatever, but don't call him that. He doesn't like being called that. I feel like swearing, but I better not. He's an effing robot. Kid. And Tami just goes, crack! Cracks him in the nose. And Roger just gets up from it and he wipes his nose and he's like, well, boys, get him. You're coming with us. No, no, no. And they lay into him and they get him and they're like, he's like, I'm not coming with you. Yeah, they deserve that. I don't like these guys. Yep. And they're like, you're coming with us. Come on, whether you like it or not. Right? And guess who rocks up? Because he's got a button. Tami's got a button and he's pressed it. Guess who rocks up? Stu rocks up and he's like, you right, kid? And they all just like kind of drop what they're doing with grabbing Stu and they look at, they drop Tami and they look at Stu and they're like, so here's your robot daddy, eh? Right? And he's like, all right, boys. Show's over. You just keep going. You leave my boy here. You leave Tami here. You just keep walking. Go back to where you came from. Okay? Get out of this place. This is my place. Get out. I won't say it again. And Roger's like, you simp, dog. And Rogers pulls out a handgun. No, he is. He is. But he's choosing not to be violent. And he knows the conclave is about, well, they're meant to be protecting people from the control, you know? And Big Tami just yells out, Stu! And Stu just looks at Big Tami and he goes, I'm sorry, kid. And he takes another breath. And Rod just pulls the handgun. And Stu's just like, and you just see him shut down. And you see the lights turn off. And he just hits the ground and he weighs a lot because he's just a bunch of metal and all that. And Stu is no more. And Tommy's like, you bastards! Right? And Tommy's like, you don't know what you've done. And he's so angry. And they're just pushing him away. And he's like, and then he goes to Stu and he's like, Stu, and Stu won't move. He's gone. Right? And, sorry, I'm trying to talk over the rain. Yeah. And Stu's no more. And he's over Stu and he's like, ah, ah. And then all you see is Rod standing over him and black. End of story. Stay tuned for part 2 of Big Tami. Yeah, but that's the first part of Tami's story. Oh, cool. Oh, thanks, Duck. Thanks, Duck Edits. Yeah, so these stories I'm doing right now, they're the origin stories to these characters. And that's kind of like where it ends up. Yeah, I know. Yep. So, it's sad, eh? A bit sad that Stu's gone, eh? I enjoyed him too. I feel bad myself. Yeah, so that's the end of Tami's first part. So all he sees is Rog standing over him and Black just knocked out. Are you about to go live on? Yes, I am. Yes, I am, Big Tami. I'll have a real quick break. Quick break. And then, guys, I'm going to go live on... I don't want to say it. You can type it in the things. But, yeah. Thanks, guys, for watching. That's the first part of Tami's origin story. I hope you liked it. Please, if you came at the back of this story, please watch it from the start when it comes out. It's got to take a bit of time to process. But when it comes out, please watch it. There's also part 1 of Vasha's story, which actually they all marry up eventually, and they're already starting to marry up. But you can probably see where things are going too. These guys can't be, I swear to God. I'm in the affection, bro. No, I can't. Don't just it'll all work out, bro. It'll all work out. Yeah. I'm pretty sad, eh? In their defense, bro, they haven't really met simps that are actually good in any way. So to them, the moment they heard about Foreman Stew, they're just like, what? You're getting snuggly with a simp? You're just the lowest of low. So guys, I hope you loved it. But yeah, you'll get to rewatch it if you haven't watched this whole story of Tami's part 1. Rewatch it. I actually really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed doing it. It is hard for me to do these because it takes a lot of mental energy. A lot. That's why I screw up some of the acting, but that's normal. That's kind of what you're going to get doing this. Yeah, he was. Oh, you know, when I was doing Stew, I just wanted to stay there. I wanted to build a house and live there. Absolutely. Stew was cool. Yeah, and he's always got a Stopey, just like, what? Stopey. Anyway, he's always got a cigar. But yeah. And I didn't expect to go that way with Stew. That just came out on the spot, and then I'm like, this is cool. I like it. And this is what's going to happen. Yeah, so stay tuned because there's still going to be a part 2 to Tami's story. Stogie. Oh, there we go. Stogie. Yeah, he's always got a stogie going. Yeah. It's like that, you know. What can you do? You know, your life's kind of hard sometimes. You gotta stay with. You gotta stay up. You gotta stay up here, you know, because you don't want to lose the marbles. You lose the marbles, you really lose the game. So yeah. Sorry, kid. I'm not trying to replace your father. Your father, I'm sure, was a good man, but yeah, you know, the plumbing ain't right anyway. You know us humanoids, we're a different breed. Yeah. Don't really like us myself, you know, to tell you the truth. So yeah. So goodbye, everyone. I hope you like this episode. You know, if you missed any of it, you can re-watch it when it gets worked out, when it's finished processing, because, you know, I'm part of the processing plant, you know, the waste management, you know, yeah. I think you had blue eyes. I think I got blue eyes. What do you reckon? I got blue eyes? Yeah, blue eyes. Yeah. Yeah, for future reference, kind of thing. Hey, Daniel Berry. Sports highlights. Yeah, just blue eyes, I reckon. He was a big guy. No, not blue eyes, brown eyes. Brown eyes with a bit of a beard. Bulky with a bit of a gut. Sounds like me, eh? But bit of a gut. But yeah, he's got a gut. He's big. He's very muscly. Big dude. He's always got his hard hat on. Yeah. And he's just like, yeah, brown, kind of darkish brown hair. Yeah, bit bald up spot, but it's covered under his hard hat. Yeah. So anyways, I gotta go. I gotta go. Got a lot of work to do. So, yes, it's been a blast. Yeah, it's been a blast. Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, blue's fine. I like blue. Blue's a good color. Yeah. I'll look after you, because the part of the place I work, we make all the steaks. We make the steaks, really, really nice and juicy. I got my own recipe there, just like the real thing. Just like the real thing. Oh, make for a good scene, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, it would. Yeah. Yeah, and it would expose him what he is, which is a synth. Okay, see you guys. Thank you very much. This is the end of Origin Story Part 1 of Tami. Hope you enjoyed it. And when it comes up back on the lives, when it's processed, which sometime tomorrow probably, maybe tomorrow Av, please enjoy it, because I really enjoyed this one. I thought it had... I was shocked where it went in a lot of ways. It'll make for a good scene, sorry. Yeah. Bye, guys. But I'll see some of my friends elsewhere in just a moment. Thanks, guys.